What's up? What's up? What's up, everybody? What's up? What's up? How you doing? How you doing? How you doing? What's going on? Hope everybody's doing good. Everybody's staying safe. People fasting. Happy Ramadan to the Muslims. Hey, made in Africa. Tizo, Japan. You're not sleeping. Ancient Aura. Let me add you. What's up? What's up? What's up? All right, everybody. Hold on. Let me add Ancient Aura. Small business. So today I bring in Ancient. Look at my outfit for you. You're not gonna sit down. You're gonna be walking around.
Nah, I'm gonna sit down. I'm trying to find a quiet spot.
Cool. The kids,
Yeah,
the kids are up and about.
yeah. So I'm in my daughter's room right now. she,
You think over her room?
yeah, she all the purple.
Oh my goodness. Where's she at? You okay with that?
Yeah, yeah. She's out running around making noise. So I'm like, let me go in your room.
How's everybody doing? I see everybody's coming in. So let me let you know the preface of this show. I'm always promoting Black business, promoting small business, and how we can create generational wealth and work together to create dynamics to empower us as a collective, because nobody else is doing it but us. Right, Jason?
Let them know. Let them know.
So Jason has inspired. Jason has inspired me. I met Jason. What was it? 6 years ago. He was coming into. He was at my. He used to come to my job. He used to work for the postal service, and he used to always drop stuff off. I didn't know there was this genius, just amazing genius growing. And then I ran into him in a fair, and I was like, "You look mad familiar." He was like, "I was like, I work at the Schomburg." He was like, "Yeah, I used to come through the Schomburg." So it was like full circle, and so empowering to see somebody like strike out on their own and do something for our community, because we don't really have a lot of stuff that represents us, that speaks to us, right? And I just want to say that Jason's pieces speak to me. I don't know. I don't really wear any other necklaces but his necklaces. And when he sees my neck empty, he be like, Aisha, where your piece at?
It's
So
crazy.
Jason, tell us a little bit about your business journey and what made you strike out and go on your own.
It's crazy, especially because we used to basically bump into each other all the time when I was at work.
Yes.
And, I was working at the post office for about 12 years.
Mm-hmm,
12
mm-hmm.
years. And people don't really know the post office is a hard ass job. So, people don't even know. Memorizing all them addresses and those addresses don't even make sense. It takes a long time for you to get used to, and messing with people's checks. Like, people be running after you like you don't even understand. So then you got the
You were everybody, whenever everybody was expecting their daily shit, like, Jason, where's my check at? Where's my package?
exactly. And I'm in Harlem. We working in Harlem. There's a lot
Mm-hmm,
of
mm-hmm.
there's a lot of projects over there. There's a lot of people expecting their checks. You gotta go up in them project elevators, them project buildings. A lot of them elevators don't work. People don't even know the post office is a hard ass job, and if that don't motivate you to get up and say, "Yo, I gotta do something else. I can't do this my whole life.
Exactly.
I can't do this my whole life." So that was basically my motivator.
Mm-hmm.
And another part was, my grandfather, he worked for the city.
Yeah.
And, you know, shortly after he retired, he passed. And then my
Mm.
father, he also had a city job.
Mm-hmm.
And then like 2016, when I started it,
Yeah.
he retired in 2015, and in 2016 he died.
Oh my
So
God. After all those years. Good.
exactly. So after he worked 37 years working for the MTA, and a year later he died. So I already saw my genetic destiny. I'm like, damn, if
Oh.
I work for the post office for 30 something years, after I retire, I'm gonna die, because I already saw what was gonna happen. The
Oh my
past
God.
always repeats itself
Mm-hmm.
if you keep making the same decisions. And we all have certain generational curses we got to break.
Mm. Mm.
So
Mm.
so I So I knew that I had to do this not just for me, but for my kids. Because
Yeah.
my kids saw me working at a city job, you unconsciously do what your parents are going to do,
Yes.
or
Yeah.
try to at least achieve what they achieved, so you can feel like you carried the torch a little
Yeah.
bit.
Yes.
So I knew I had to do something for me, and so my kids can see there's something better than just getting a 9 to 5 job. So I had to get the
Mm.
hell out of
Let's clap on that. Let's clap on that.
there. And so, working at the post office, especially in Harlem,
Yeah.
you're soaking up a lot of culture.
Yeah.
So working, lived in Brooklyn and Queens my whole life.
Yeah.
But Harlem is a little different. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you're soaking up a lot of culture. And my
Yeah.
father, he was always ahead of the curve when it came to consciousness. He would always read these books, and they will always have these symbols on them. And
Mm.
when I was a little kid, I used to look at these books and try to read them, but the words were too big. But
Mm.
the symbols always resonated with me on a
Yeah.
subconscious level.
Yes.
So, you know, when got older, I just wanted to learn the nature of metaphysics and what these symbols meant. So,
Mm. Mm.
so when I decided, I gotta get the hell out of the post office, I, I was like, I gotta try something,
Yeah.
anything,
Yes.
and and that started my path.
And you led right into my next question. How did you start? Like the whole ancient aura thing, the jewelry, the design. Like I'm always inspired by all your pieces because all of them speak a different language and speak to a different deity or different important person that impacted the diaspora. Talk a little bit about how this hall created, and it's like gold, like plated. This is really Ethiopian. Talk about it.
Well, listen, I really stumbled upon it. Like at first,
Mm.
I was making T-shirts. So
Mm.
yeah, a lot of people don't know that. Like
I didn't know you
this is not my
made t-shirts.
yeah, this ain't my first business. This is my third business. So people who think their first
Wow.
business is supposed to work out, that's not how it's supposed to go. This is my third business.
Wow.
So yeah, so I was making T-shirts. What happened was in high school, it was my
Yeah.
senior year in high school, and they
Mhm.
just got this new program, some elective, and I was like, you know what? I'll take that class. And the
Yeah.
new elective was Photoshop.
Mm.
So I was like, I don't care. I'll take anything. I'm just trying to graduate. So I took this Photoshop class, and I wasn't no A student, trust and believe. So I took this I took this Photoshop class, and I was like, yo, I actually like this shit.
Yeah.
And so from and also I used to always draw as a kid. I was always used to draw. So I was like, yeah,
Yeah.
I'll take Photoshop. Sounds like my lane. So I took Photoshop,
Like my
passed
leg.
it. And so, then I was like, and then I just left it alone from then on. So when I decided I wanted to do something, and I started making T-shirts, I um, created this company called Out the Box T-shirts.
Out the box
You know, I
t-shirts.
still I still have that Instagram page. You can go to Get Out the Box.
We gotta go troll and look at it.
Yeah,
Hmm.
and actually I got about 15,000 followers on that page from when
Wow.
from when I started it, because I
Yeah.
started that like when IG first started, and I was on it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Uh-huh.
So yeah, and so when I started the T-shirts, I'm like, and I used to make all the T-shirts myself. I
Really
set up,
personally print them and stuff like that?
yeah, I set up shop in my mother's basement, and I set up a print shop and all that. I bought the equipment,
Yeah.
YouTube. I'm YouTube University. I YouTube everything. I didn't go to school for none of this. So I'm like, all I know is I can draw
Mhm.
the designs, but I don't know
Yeah.
how to print them. So I just
Yeah.
went to YouTube University, printed out. You learn how to print all this shit out. And what I used the income I was getting from my job to fund
Yeah.
my dreams. So,
What? You see?
yeah,
Hmm.
yeah.
Hmm.
And so I bought all the T-shirt equipment and was making t-shirts and stuff, but I was like, this is still too much work. I'm still
You're like they say, work smart, not hard, right? Work smart, not
exactly.
hard.
I was still trading my time for my energy. And so
Wow.
after working at the post office, I would go to my mother's house, make the
Yeah.
t-shirts, and still come home at 12 o'clock at night, and it was still too much work.
Yeah.
So, and then, t-shirts, it wasn't that much money where I could say
Mhm.
I could quit my job.
Yeah. Exactly.
And so, one time I was looking for this chain and I couldn't find it.
Yeah.
And so I stumbled upon this site
Yeah.
and I was like, oh, this is the type of chain I want. And I was looking at the people who were selling it. It was, white Jewish people basically
Mm-hmm.
benefiting and selling our culture. And I was
To
like,
us.
and they,
To us.
to
Hmm.
us, exactly.
Like they
And,
usually do.
exactly. And they were, they, the names of the pieces they had all wrong. You know,
Mm.
they weren't even naming it right. They just know that, oh, this is what people of color or black people want. And I'm just going to call it out. They wouldn't call a Ankh a Ankh. They would call it like an Egyptian cross. They would.
God. Oh God.
Yeah.
Hmm.
They had, they had certain Native American pieces, but they still had white features on it.
Oh.
So I'm like, that, especially working in Harlem and, uh, getting all this culture, and it kind of enrages you. So it makes you mad.
Yes.
But anger is nothing but energy. And
Mm.
if you can direct that energy, you can make it more productive. And so I was
Exactly.
like, you know what? Let me go down this lane. Let me try this.
Yes.
And so I took the same designs basically that I was doing for some of my t-shirts and tweaked them a little bit. And I was like, you know what? I can create jewelry pieces the
Mm.
same way,
Mm.
just send my designs to a manufacturer and have them mass produce it for me.
Yeah.
Therefore, I don't have to waste energy creating each piece.
Like you did for the t-shirts.
Exactly. And with t-shirts it's hard because a lot of people they be like, "Oh, I like that t-shirt. Do you have my size?" And then you run out of sizes.
Mm.
Like you may
Hmm.
have, so it's hard to keep up with all the different sizes.
You're
Es-
right.
Especially females. Oh my God.
I work with the Two Data brand, so I know that t-shirt stuff is not easy.
It's not. It's not. People think it's easy. It's not. So I said, I could make, twice, three times as much,
And at
you
one
know,
size fits all.
one exactly, exactly. So I'm like, you know what? This makes a lot of sense. Let me go down this lane. And, it
Yeah.
evolved from there.
Wow. And then it's really interesting how you make sure you tell the story around each piece. I like that because I want to know what I'm wearing. I want to know what it symbolizes and what it means. So I
Yeah.
like that there's a story with each piece. And also you inform us and on different levels on, what I'm saying, being more conscious about a lot of things.
Yeah. Because, a lot of times when you see pieces or shapes or images, it
Mhm.
resonates with us on a subconscious level. A
Yes.
lot, a lot of
Yes.
times, when you see geometric symbols, it calms us because
Mm.
that's what symmetry does, just like music.
Yeah.
uh if you play music, a bunch of tones at once, it makes no sense. But when you add symmetry to it, when you add mathematics to it, it basically makes a sound
Yeah.
that creates a chemical in us that makes us feel calm and relaxed. And that's what
Yeah.
geometric symbols does as well. That's why in a lot of um, paintings that, like the Mona Lisa, they say,
Yeah.
she's the most beautiful woman, but it's not that she's the most beautiful. It's just that the whoever created the painting created with geometry where it makes so much sense that looking
Yeah.
at the painting is calming. And that's the same
Yeah.
thing with other great symbols as well. And I just decided
Absolutely.
to do the same thing with our culture.
Okay. So one of my questions, because we're always scared to step out on our own. I know I'm scared. Like, to step out on your own, trust faith. Was it scary for you? How did you combat that fear? How did you kind of like just say, I'm gonna do this? Like, because that step to creating your own business is you, because it's not like they give us loans like that. You might gotta use your money, right? So how
Listen,
was it scary for you? How did you talk about it?
I knew it just didn't make sense. When you work at the post office, right? And there's a lot of old people at the post office. And you got to say, if I keep working here, I'm going to be that person. And these people
Yes.
are old, trying to push a cart, trying to lift mail, and their back hurts. And like, it just doesn't make sense. And I'm
Our
living check to
essential.
check. So,
Mm-hmm.
so I had to do something. It didn't make sense. So if I didn't do anything, this is where I was going to end up. So you
Yeah.
just gotta, you just gotta do 2 + 2, and all right, this don't make sense. I don't want to do this, so I'd rather just take a risk. And
So
that's
like,
just been the type of person I am.
so your fear was like the fear of ending up almost like like how your family ended up, like they retired and
Exactly,
they passed away right after, right? So I think that's what
exactly. That
that would be your pusher, right? That would be your
definitely is
pusher.
definitely
So
my
your
pusher. Yeah, exactly.
so as a I know you're uber busy getting everything done and making sure that you're creating these pieces and managing a lot of your website, your this and that. What is your guilty pleasure? We want to know what's your guilty pleasure as a Virgo.
My
You're a Virgo.
guilty pleasure
Yes.
as a Virgo,
Answer.
chocolate chip cookies. No, I don't.
I'm gonna ask your wife. Chocolate chip cookie.
She she already know chocolate chip cookies. Like when I'm stressed out and running a business does that to you, I just need some chocolate chip cookies to help calm me down.
Yeah. So what are some
You know,
steps you could, like people that want to go into creating their own business, what are like 5 steps you could share with us to kind of take to step into that direction of creating your own empire, your own business, or your own service? Because it could be a service as well.
um, a lot of times people think, when you start your own business, you know what you're doing. You don't know what you're doing. Nobody knows what they're doing. People, even on the higher levels, really don't know what you're doing, especially when you're trying to get to the next level. So I think one of those steps is just move. Just make a move. Even if it's in the wrong direction, it's better to go backwards than to stand still. So just
Yes.
try something. At least you're going to learn.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Second, understanding who is your customer. That is important.
Jason, what's going on with your
And
video?
importantly,
Jason, your video is going in and out a little bit. It's like it's a little shaky. Jason, what's going on with your video? Jason, your video is not. People, I've talked to people in Nigeria and Ghana. Their video is sharp. What's going on with your video?
you
I
was
think your
breaking up.
Wi-Fi. Okay, it's better. It got better. What happened? Okay,
It's better.
perfect. Okay, go
All
ahead.
right, we're good.
Mm-hmm. Oh, Jason, there's something going on with your connection.
All right,
Okay,
let me.
perfect. Yeah. All
It's
right, your
good.
5 steps. Jason, wait till the Apple Jump video. So Jason, let me log you out and then you call back in. And what's going on with your Wi-Fi?
It's good now.
Yeah, it's good now. Perfect. Okay, go ahead. Mm-hmm.
All right. Yeah. Too
Mm-hmm.
many. I got too many kids on their tablets over here.
Daddy problems.
Yeah. Right.
Tell them you're busy. Get off the internet.
Exactly.
So you were telling us some of your steps, your 5 steps to kind of step. First one was step out on chance. Don't like
Exactly.
Mhm.
Step out on chance. Like when I first started, when I first ordered my first bulk order, I
Mhm.
maxed out my credit card. I maxed out my credit card, and me and my wife was like both there at the computer, and I was like, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna max it out.
Really?
Yeah. I was like, you ready for this? She said, go ahead, do it. So I did it.
It's really good to have a supportive. You kind of want you to have a supportive spouse. We're going to talk about her soon, but talk about the other. You've given us two. Give us another 3 steps.
What was the second one I said?
First one you did was, just step out on chance. Second one was like, you got to take that risk.
Yeah. Understanding your customer. You know, you should be your first customer.
Oh.
So once you understand your customer, you know who your target audience is.
Yes.
And that's very important.
Yes.
Because it's important to be specific when you're getting into a business. You should niche down and then broaden later.
Did you guys hear this? Niche down and broaden later. Niche meaning to the size of what to who you got to write down who's going to buy my product. What are they going to look like? What are their belief systems? Where do they live? Like geographic, psychographics, all of that leads to your product. I like that. Niche.
Let's say third is
fourth. You're on the fourth. This is the fourth one.
Fourth one is you can't do everything by yourself.
So that's a big one.
I was on that.
Sound on. Say that again.
You can't do everything by yourself. And especially as a Virgo, that's a huge problem.
Oh my God, we have a huge problem with that. And I end up burning out and really losing it on people because of that.
Yeah. And unconsciously, it's an ego problem because you're basically saying nobody can do it better than me.
Oh, you calling me out, Jason? You calling me out, Jason?
And that's what it is. So you're really stressing yourself out.
Yeah.
And I guess the fifth one is learn marketing and advertising. That is the key. That is the key to your business because it doesn't care if you have the best product in the world or the worst product in the world. If nobody knows about it, then if you don't know how to market it, then it makes no sense. Absolutely. It doesn't matter.
Absolutely. Yo, you just dropped some gems, Jason. Those were really, really good. Even me, I'm learning from this because, I really think at this point in my life, I'm stepping out on my own. I really want to start thinking about what am I going to do next? Because like you said, working for a company, I've really seen people retire at 75 at my job and they really have nothing. They have no friends. They have no family. They have nothing. And I'm like, that's not how I want my life to be.
Yeah. You become institutionalized.
Yes.
And, And, because of, we have social media now. And I guess one of the keys of my success was being social on social media. And so the way I've expanded my, my IG followers is what I used to do all the time. And I used to DM people. People always be like, well, how'd you get your followers up so much? I used to DM people all the time and send them free products. And even say, if you had 100 followers, right? Yeah. And I had 100 followers. Because let's understand this. People get mad like, oh, nobody wants to support my business. You have to understand how society works. You can't expect value and you're giving no value. If you only have
talk about it.
If you only have 100 followers, then you should go to the people that have 100, 200 followers and say, yo, let's share platforms. Don't go to people that have hundreds of thousands of followers and say, oh, nobody wants to support my business. Nobody wants to put their reputation out on the limb and and advocate for you. And you only got 100 followers. You're not giving me no value. So meet people on their level. So I would go to people who had 100 followers. And then when I got 200 followers, I would go to people who had 200 followers. Let's
Wow.
share platforms, and
Wow.
so on and so on. And
Yeah.
now I don't go to people no more. People come to me.
Boom! Drops mic. You're absolutely right. You're absolutely, because sometimes we're looking at, oh, this person has 1 million followers. I'm going to just go to them, but their 1 million followers could actually be bots, because the people
Exactly.
who follow us is real people that will buy stuff.
Exactly. Exactly. And I was talking to another business owner the other day,
Yeah.
and he was like, "Oh, I was trying to coach him on his business a little bit, and he was like, "Oh, the people are lazy. They don't want to read." I said, "No, stop blaming the people because you don't know how to reach them. It's the burden upon the business owner to
Mm,
to to get the customer's attention, to know their customer. You're
absolutely.
blaming the customer because you don't know how to sell your product.
Mm,
You can't blame the customer because you don't know how to reach them. Like I
yeah.
said, if know your customer,
Yeah.
you have to meet them on their level and then rise them up.
Absolutely. And that's with any product, from music to jewelry to t-shirts to
Yeah,
make to skincare, all of that. All of
yeah.
that.
It's not. I said it's your fault that you don't know your customer. You don't know how to get their attention. You don't know how to entertain them. You don't know how to educate them. I
Mm,
don't care if your product is superior than another person's product.
yeah.
And that's and now because he's doesn't know how to sell his product, now he has resentment towards his own people
Absolutely. You're
because
right.
saying and that's a problem because you're blaming the customer or people for a problem that's your problem, not
Mm,
theirs.
absolutely. And I noticed also that you have a quality product. And I think that's also another thing. A quality product. Like what I see on the website, what I see on your Instagram is what I get. I don't get like some substandard looking product. Like, this is strong. It has withstand. This has traveled to all parts of Africa, and it's still shining. I got this about what was it, like about 3 years, 4 years ago, and
Yeah.
it's still standing. I have a lot, but this is like my favorite one, and it's still standing. So I think a quality product is something too, right?
No, definitely. So you gotta, there's the four P's. There's product, there's pricing, there's
Mm.
promotion,
Mm.
and I forgot the other
Product
one.
pricing promotion, guys.
There
Product
we go.
promotion. Mm.
And so like I said, when I first saw the people's page that was, selling our culture, and I was
Mhm.
like, the first thing I had to do was research. So I had
Yeah,
to research where their manufacturers were, where they got their products from.
yeah,
And then I was like, you know what? Why don't I just get it from the same people they get it from? And so that's what I did. I researched and I found out, asked some questions, find out who's making their products, and then just went to them.
boom, party done.
Yeah, exactly.
Party done. So, Jason, something I also love about you is that you're a family man. You have a full family, beautiful wife, two beautiful kids. How do you juggle having a full family, meaning, like, there's so many steps to that, and running a full-time business?
I think being a family man, being a husband, being a father prepared me to be a businessman because
Mm.
because there's no difference. If you can't run a family, then you can't run a business.
Ooh, Aisha, I don't have a, what am I thinking? Shots fired. Facts, facts.
I'm not saying you have to have a family, but if you can run a business successfully, then you can run a family successfully
Yeah, yeah,
because it's the same thing. You have to deal with people. You have to there's multiple pieces, multiple uh, moving parts you have to manage at one time.
yeah,
And if you're not ready for that, you're definitely not ready for a family. You're definitely not ready for a business. But if you
absolutely.
can run a business, you can run a family. And if you can run a family, you can run a business.
Yes, yes, absolutely. And I know that also your wife also is a partner with your business, right?
Well, yeah, I pay her and she models for me. She, helps me with some of the marketing,
Mhm.
It's it's good.
You guys have
You
to
know,
go check Jason's wife. She's an emotional. She's a coach.
yeah,
Coach, life coach. So
yeah. She teaches self-care and helps people to manage their issues, especially around sexual abuse.
you see that? Boom. So you guys have multi layers. So Jason, let me ask you this question. So this is the great question I asked a lot of people. Do you think fast track to success is versus slow and steady? What would you pick and why?
I say slow and steady.
Yeah.
You make your money fast, you're gonna lose it fast because
Mm. Did you guys hear that? Jason, say that again.
if you make your money fast, you're gonna lose it fast. And a lot of with this journey I'm on, I had to understand money because I understand
Yeah.
the average person doesn't understand money, how it's made, how it's created, and how to maintain it.
Yeah.
You know,
Absolutely.
just because you have money don't mean you know how to use it.
Mm,
Is you know, a lot of people ask, well, then what is money? Money is
mm,
scarcity and demand. That's all it
mm,
is. If you have a
mm,
skill that's scarce and in demand, you are the money.
mm.
And that's basically it. As
Yeah.
people people wonder why teachers get paid so little.
Yeah.
Well, how many teachers are there? There's
Yeah.
a there's a 100 million teachers.
Mm,
Is it in demand? Yes, but it's not scarce. You got to have all three to say I am the money. You have to
mm,
be scarce and in demand. And an NBA player who's 7 feet tall and can run, jump out the roof, that's scarce. That's very scarce, and
mhm,
it is in demand. So that's
mm,
why he makes millions and teachers don't. And
mm.
it's just like in even you can go to any field.
Yeah.
You go to medical field. If
Yeah.
you're a regular doctor, yeah, you can make $100,000 a year.
Mm,
But if you're a brain surgeon, which is scarce and in demand,
yeah.
then you're naming your price.
You pocket 500,000 or more.
Exactly. So
Uh-huh.
so you have to develop a skill that's scarce and in demand, and then that's when you can create your own money.
Mm. That was dope, Jason. I really like that. I like that. Answer in demand, and that's it. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
So I know there's a few people in here. I want to see if people have any questions for Jason. People that have small businesses. I see a couple of business owners in here. If you guys have questions, definitely throw your questions at me. While I'm looking for while we're waiting for questions. So Jason, if you had another business to create, what would it be?
If I had another business create, I would go into the health field.
Really? What
Yeah.
you That's a pivot. That's a total pivot.
Or maybe I would do t-shirts again because I know a little bit more about business now.
Yeah.
Or I would go into the health field because I think, um,
Hmm.
it's as a Virgo, I think it's important that because Virgos are known as the healers of the zodiac signs.
And we end up dying, healing people.
Exactly. So it's more important that we take care of our health more than
Yeah,
other signs.
absolutely. Absolutely.
And so upon my journey, I think even before I became an entrepreneur, I
Yeah.
went into herbology and um, other healing techniques as well.
Wow.
And I think it helped me to get my mind right to move on to the next level.
Absolutely.
Look,
Absolutely.
and
Absolutely.
so
Somebody asked, do you do trunk shows? Somebody just asked, do you do trunk shows?
not anymore. Like really, I'm
What?
I'm cre- I'm creating my business. Like even you might be mad at me at this too because I don't even think I'm going to do
Vending.
vending as much either. You know,
Mm-hmm,
I'm trying to work more in the business instead of on the business,
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
where I can expand the business by me doing my like growing the business instead of doing the work inside the business.
Absolutely. I guess you've passed that point now. You put in
Yeah,
that. Yeah.
Exactly. And so that's what I'm trying to do.
If it's a fundraiser, you could do it.
Yeah, even the fundraiser, I'll do it. I do enjoy vending. I'm not going to lie. I do enjoy going out and, meeting the people and talking to the people.
Yeah.
I do enjoy that part.
Yeah.
But the going there, setting up, doing the paperwork, that part I don't like. People don't know, vending is not as easy as it looks.
Yeah, talk about vending. Talk about vending, because I know a lot of small business owners on here. Y'all better start asking Jason questions. He's successful. Y'all better ask those questions. Go ahead, Jason. Talk about vending.
Even with vending, when I first started, I'm like, oh, I want to vend here, I want to vend there.
Yeah.
And so, once you start, you have to start being social, ask questions.
Mm-hmm.
The vendors aren't just going to come to you. I mean, the spots ain't just going to come to you all the time.
Yeah.
You have to go to them. And once you get in a circle of vendors, people start to, come to you. And especially if you have a good product, people are going to want you at their spots, at the events.
Mm-hmm.
And, once you start just getting in the circle of people, then all of a sudden these events and promoters start to come to you and say, "Oh, I want you here, I want you here, I want you here." And it's all about just getting over yourself a lot of times.
Yeah.
And
Somebody just asked a question about what steps should you put in place to prepare for being a vendor?
Getting what steps? I
Like
would say,
a license for vending or something like that you guys have to get.
Yeah. Well, you got it. Well, at first you got to. I would say, definitely set up your LLC, get an EIN number, so you can sell commercially, and so you can definitely not pay taxes on certain products as well.
Yeah.
Because that's another thing too. Once you get into a certain level of businesses, you have to learn taxes on a whole nother level. Like you don't get no more tax returns. No more tax returns.
You don't get tax returns, Jason?
No. No.
It's so crazy how like small businesses are taxed so much compared to these big businesses. And then now that they have this stimulus money, the big businesses are getting more money. I don't understand, Jason.
Well, this stimulus, this whole thing, it's more of I guess a business social plan. It's not for the people. You gotta understand the United States is not set up for employees.
Mm-hmm.
Understand that. Once you understand that, you say, okay, I got to set up a business as an employee to even benefit from taxes. Yeah. Because even the little tax return you get, that is not as much. It means nothing to the amount of money you can make as a business owner. Mm. So you get, $2,000, $3,000, even $4,000. You think that's something. That's nothing to what big businesses are getting and what you can make even as a small business.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
And so,
we're getting questions. They're coming in. First question is, how do you find a manufacturer for watches, or how did you find what were some of the places that you looked at to find manufacturer? And somebody said, how did you determine pricing?
Alibaba.com is the world's biggest manufacturing platform. Go to Alibaba.com. All the world's manufacturers are on there. Go on the search bar. Type in what you want, what you're looking for, and then message the vendors. And it's really that easy. And these vendors are usually from all over the world. Some are from the US, but it doesn't matter anymore. The world is smaller now. My vendors come from all over. I get manufacturers from Indonesia, China, all over Asia, all over. And how you determine the price is really trial and error. Because at first, when these vendors understand you're a newbie, they're going to make the prices higher. But once you understand, and that's in any business, you're going to get it's trial and error. Yeah. And depending on what your business is, you're going to understand. Once you might find a vendor and get it for a high price, then start shopping around, and you're going to realize another manufacturer has that same product for a lower price. And then you can leverage that information to your current vendor and say, yo, I don't want to pay that price anymore.
I got it for this price versus this price. Exactly.
And also, I've been working with you for this long. Let's lower the prices. I'm getting more product from you. Let's work. If you want to hold my business, if not, go to the next manufacturer.
Yeah.
But Alibaba.com is really that simple. And a lot of these people from other countries, they speak pretty good English. You might be able to Zoom with them, talk with them over the phone. So, and once you develop a relationship with a certain manufacturer, you can scale from then on. Even with getting, let's say, advertising products. Another spot is Fiverr. You know about Fiverr?
I know about Fiverr. Yes.
Yes. Fiverr.com. It's the same thing. If you need something, you go in the search bar. If you need a logo made, if you need some editing done on a video, it's the same thing.
Boom. And I've noticed with the stuff that you do, that you empower a lot of Black business owners, like for when you're doing your advertising, when you're doing your video, when you're doing, like you keep the dollars within the community. Talk about keeping our dollars within the Black community.
Oh, that's definitely important, because if you want to keep your money, also, you want to work with people you can develop a relationship with. And there's no better person you can develop a relationship with you who is a person who identifies with your situation, identifies the way you look, and understands how hard it is to have empathy and sympathy for each other's struggle.
Yeah.
And so if you're able to work with me and I identify with you, and not only that, we can develop a friendship. And businesses thrive off of friendships.
That's true.
Even with white people, they say business is not set in the boardroom; it's set on the golf course. Because when they go to the golf course, we develop a symbiotic relationship with each other.
Yes.
And you want to develop a business where you can ask somebody about their family and see if they're a good family man or a family woman, and say, okay, that's the type of person I want to do business with.
Absolutely.
And so, and it might not be on the golf course. In our case, it might be on the basketball court, on the soccer field, or
at the Schomburg.
At the Schomburg.
You're absolutely right. So another, like, when you want to start a business, how much money do you think somebody has to, like, depending on let's say a t-shirt line, right? How much money do you think somebody has to invest, and and when do you start seeing profit? What is the timeline? Like when you started your t-shirt or your jewelry line, what was the timeline to you investing the money to seeing actual profit?
Well, at first you really got to do it because you love it, basically. You really have to do it before you love it. You're not going to you shouldn't see a profit. When you first start, you shouldn't see a profit in the first 2 years. But if you break even, that's good.
Yes.
Because what you're doing is you can't see no profit, because you have to take all your profits and reinvest it. You can't really see a profit. If you see a profit, then, in the first 2 years, then you're a unicorn. You're very unique.
Not a unicorn,
or if you're spending your profits, then you're not going to be able to scale your business.
Yeah.
So if you're looking, like you said, if you're looking for fast money, you can make a profit real quick and run. But if you're looking to scale and grow your business, I have to take majority of my profits and reinvest it, and take as little as possible for you to survive to spend on your needs. But you should not be buying a new car within the first 2 years.
No new Gucci shoes?
No.
You shouldn't be buying Gucci anyway.
Exactly. but I think, you know, with a t-shirt business, you
Yeah.
can, if you have a Shopify site,
Yeah.
and you can do Shopify, I think they charge about $20 to $30 a month for
Yeah.
you to, and you can get a free template. I had a free template site for a while, and I
Well,
was,
one thing, Jason, not to cut you off, but one thing I noticed about those template sites is that the quality is not the same as when you go to a manufacturer.
what?
Like it's not as crispy. Like, you know, the printing, it's not as crispy as when you go to like somebody who, like, you know, you do the screen printing, you get it done like professional, like by people who manufacture the shirts and see the product, but, you know, feel the product and see the product.
No, that's definitely true. Like when I did, like when I had Shopify and I had print on demand, which I was getting to, yeah, the quality wasn't that good,
Hmm.
but at a certain point you may have to start there,
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
then build your quality up later on.
Hmm. Hmm.
You
Absolutely.
know, so I was saying you can start out with little to nothing, but if
Hmm.
you have, you know, $500 to $1,000, you can go to a t-shirt manufacturer, uh, get maybe 50 t-shirts made,
Yeah,
and make a profit, and then just scale from there. As long as you
absolutely.
have a good design,
Yeah.
there's, and that comes with trial and error too. That's why I say you print on demand first, because
Yeah.
if you have a good design, it's going to sell whether it's good quality or bad quality just because
Yeah.
of the design. But
Absolutely.
and
Absolutely.
then, so test with print on demand, and
Yes.
then if you have a good design and you can say, okay, now I'm going to go to a manufacturer or print shop so I can get better quality, and then you
Yeah.
can up your price because you know the design is going to sell whether you want, what is
No,
going to
no.
sell.
Exactly.
Exactly.
So I know that you have the inside track in this because you worked for the post office for so many years. But when you're mailing stuff off to customers, what are some tips and techniques? Like if you're making a beauty product, you're making whatever, because you have to, like, when the orders start coming in, you got to send that mail out. How do you, like, let's say you get 100 orders one day, you have to send that out. Please help us with that.
Oh my God, that is the nightmare of my life, is packaging orders. That's why as soon as this, because I've been basically packaging them from the basement. As soon as
Yeah.
this quarantine is over, I'm getting the office. I'm hiring somebody to pack these orders up because, again, you start to work more in the business than on the business,
Exactly.
because packaging takes time.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's another thing you have to understand as a business owner. Packaging is very important because you're giving the customer an experience, and
Mm.
an experience starts with the packaging.
Yes.
So you're adding to the excitement when uh, you have good quality packaging, you know, and buying is an emotional experience.
Yes.
So when you have good packaging, and also by putting your product in good packaging, you're teaching people how to value your product. Bec-
Mm.
Because if you put your product in just a plastic bag and send it off, you're teaching the customer that, okay, your product is only worth a plastic bag, or it.
It's
But
true.
if you package it, put a note in, put a business card in, and you ship it off in a nice envelope, you're teaching people, oh, this is probably a lot
Yeah.
because look how much the packaging costs.
Yes. Yes.
Look, so I know that the product has more value than the packaging, but that's not
Yeah.
always true. Sometimes the packaging costs more than the product. You can
And that,
even
but you know what, you're so right. Because like when I get stuff from Amazon and I see the person has like a little personal thank you card and that it like has like, you know, it has tissue paper and it really just, your mind already, your mind is so stupid that you're like, oh, this is really dope. And it might be a $1 piece of t-shirt or something I just bought, but the packaging just makes you feel all happy and things. You're right. I never even thought about that.
exactly. So so you have to, so packaging, you have to put care into it and time into it, to give people that emotional experience.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because in reality, nobody needs another T-shirt. Nobody, no. Let's be serious. Nobody needs another T-shirt. Nobody needs another piece of jewelry. So
Yeah.
what are you adding? You're adding emotional value, and that
Mhm.
starts with the packaging.
Yes,
And that's
absolutely.
yeah, and that's the basically marketing. That's a part of marketing. That's a part of advertising.
Yeah.
Is your packaging. Even if you even let's look at water, right?
Hmm.
If
Exactly.
the
I
bottle
like drinking water too. Exactly. It
we
might
if
be that
yeah
water.
when you look at water, the bottle costs more than the actual content the bottle itself costs more than the water. The reason
Damn.
the reason why remember Voss water, the reason why it sold so much is because of the bottle itself. It
Yes.
came in a quality glass bottle.
Yeah.
And people say, oh snap, this must be expensive water because the bottles look so expensive. You know what I'm saying? And even
What's up,
yeah,
everybody? Everybody saying hi. Timeless Music Empire. What's up? Powered by Timeless Music Empire. What's up, APM? I see Ike Lee. I see everybody. Your fam is in here. Say hi, Jason, everybody.
what's up, everybody?
But you're right about that, boss. And then they named they named every bottle like still, like this, like that. Like they made everything so like, je ne sais. It's dropping gems. Make sure you share this live with your friends, your workers, because this is crazy. So somebody asked the question, what do you think your estimated net worth will be in 2025?
2025.
Yeah.
I'm
We gave you time because of COVID.
give me an extra year.
They gave you.
It's fun. I think about I'm going about 10, 20 million. I think so.
Did you hear that? Sound on. I like that. I
I'm
like that.
so
It's time for you to go ahead and get your house in Ghana, Jason. We're waiting for you to come by.
yeah. I'm working on it, trust.
Throw some hats out.
Yeah.
So how did you like, say before you got married, how did you navigate dating with like doing business and all that stuff? Or did you start your business while you were married?
Nah, I started while I was married. I was to tell you the truth, I was a mess before I met my wife. I was a mess, you know,
What? That?
because I was just, out here trying to hit everything moving. That was the mentality I was
Not
on.
like that, Jason. Don't say that.
But it but it wasn't see the thing, it wasn't about what I wanted to do, is what I thought I was supposed to do. Because the more women you have sex with, the higher social status you have.
Ooh, did you guys hear that? Oh. But it doesn't equate for women though, but it's good for men.
Yes, it's good for men.
For women, you a thought.
Exactly.
Even though it should be equal because everybody should be allowed to be sexually fluid if they want to be. I know what you're saying. Oh, like yo, that one is the biggest one to me that we really about self-worth. That's why sometimes it's easy to control people of color, black people, because we like shiny things. I always call it, don't get mad, but I call it nigga trinkets. We get excited by nigga trinkets, but when it's time to do things that are about movement, we're not moving like that. You know what I'm saying? So like that just really just touched me because we're really interested in like stuff that really sometimes are worthless.
Well, it's because we don't understand money. We to this present economic system,
Yeah.
they have a 400-year head start.
Woo! Talk about it.
And so now we have to learn their game and beat them at their own game. You have to beat the devil at his own game in order to
Mm.
elevate.
Mm. And how would you say to do that? Before as we're getting to the end, how would you say we can beat them?
You have to infiltrate their own systems. So, you have to be, if anybody ever seen a movie or read the book, The Spook Who Sat by the Door.
Yeah,
So
I
there
never. Huh?
is basically about, a man who seemed to be a coon or Uncle Tom
Yeah.
and infiltrated basically the FBI system. And once he got in the FBI or one of these ABC I don't know,
Agency. Mm-hmm.
agencies, he then used the skills and knowledge he developed to liberate his people. But before that, he had to go through um, his own people degrading him, calling him an Uncle Tom, calling him a
Mm.
coon,
Mm.
basically constantly calling him a, you know, just degrading him but he ignored all that because he understood what he was doing, and he understood what his people was going through. So he
Mm.
had, and we do this with a lot of celebrities. We don't really understand what they're doing on the
Mm.
inside, because on the outside we look at them as appealing to the so-called system.
Mm. Talking about appealing, before we end up going, I see you use a lot of sex to sell your product. Talk about that. Like, there's a lot of people, a lot of talking about sexuality. We have 28 seconds, so say it fast.
I'm gonna say this.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, and if you have a business, right, your first thing you have to do is get a person's attention.
Yeah.
That's your priority, to get a person's attention. And in order to get a person's attention, you have to meet them on their primal level. And
Yeah.
on their primal levels, you have to use